Okay, let's start. Good afternoon, everyone. I already addressed us some minutes ago before most of us joined. You're welcome to today's edition of the Indices Market Mastery class. We normally have this. The intention is to have this every Thursday. And this class will lead us into live trading session. That will begin by 2 p.m. Okay, so what we intend to do, or what we like to do on days like this, is to explain the index market. We just take an hour there about to explain some of the things that affect the index market even for the week. Do some analysis on it, and then we go into live trading session. Okay, that is where this is different. So normally Mondays to Fridays by 2 p.m. we normally have the live trading session. On Thursdays and on Tuesdays, we normally have agro commodity expose and the indices market class. Okay, so that's why we begin by 1 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so I believe that most of us that are here, we have already done quite, or I expect that we have been privy to introduction, when we had introduction into the index market, and that's where we talked about what indices are and the various examples of indices. So what I want to do is I want to try and spend as less time as possible on that aspect so that we can go into looking at the index market, explaining and in-depthly what has happened in the market and what we think it will cause going further. Okay, so what I will do is I'll share my chart with us. But before that, okay, before I share my chart with us, let's look at the index markets. Look at the introduction. Okay. Okay, let's do this. I expect that you can see my slide now. For those of us who have joined this class in the past, I'm sure that we all have an idea of what I'm about to do. Just within the next 5 minutes, just explain what the index market is for the purpose of for those persons who are just joining us for the first time. Okay, when we talk about the index market, it's a group of assets, an asset that covers tries to trade different sub assets as a single unit. So what I mean is that an index is made up of different tradable assets. Okay, so we bring different tradable assets together and trade them as one. That is what an index is. Okay, and that is why these are examples of indices. If you have not come across them before, if you have come across them, you find out that one very important characteristics of the index market is the fact that they have numbers, that follow them. Like, for example, you would notice that I have my first example as US 30. I have my next example as US 100. So I have 30, I have 100 following it. Okay, I also have US 500. I have US 2000. I have D30. These are just some of the major ones we have. It's not everything. Okay, there is EU 50. There is RUS 50. There is FR 40. But the similarity is that you have numbers attached to them. Okay, that is because you're considering for US 30, for instance, you're taking 30 stocks. 30 stocks. One of the major ways that corporations, if I use that word, is that firms and corporations increase their productivity or increase their level of production is by increasing capital. Okay, if a company their production capacity is about 1 million bags of rice or something like that, and they feel they want to increase that so that they can make more, it means that they have to increase capital. One of the ways that companies increase capital is by selling what? Shares. So they sell shares and you buy shares. That way they increase capital. But that also means that you have bought a share of that company. And that means you own a particular part of that company, depending on the unit of shares you have bought. Do you understand? So when companies provide, go into shares like that, okay, where companies do shares like that, a group of shares together is known as a stock. That is why you have Apple stock. That's why you have Facebook. That's why you have Tesla. These are stocks. Okay, but when these stocks come together and you trade them as a whole, when you trade these stocks as a whole, okay, that is what we call the indexed market. Okay, that's what we call the index market. So and it turns out that index market is actually a very profitable market. And one advantage that I will consider when I talk about the index market is the fact that I could actually easily analyze the strength or the weakness of the index market by comparing or looking at most of the stocks. Because if most of the stocks are strong, I expect that the index itself is strong. Okay. Today's class will be, I hope we can get a lot, because I expect I'm going to do my best to make sure today's class is as insightful as possible, because it turns out that tomorrow we'll be having NFP. Okay, we'll be having NFP. So if we are having NFP tomorrow, you know that the market is going to go crazy. From today to tomorrow, the market is going to go crazy. Okay, and I'll in a few moments I'll be showing you why I feel that tomorrow's NFP will likely be one of the busiest. I may be wrong, but I feel like tomorrow's NFP will be one of the busiest that we've had this year, if not the busiest we've had this year. Okay, and I'll explain why in a moment. Okay, so let's go into our chart. We've done well to, okay, let me go forward further to explain some of the fundamentals that affect the index market, especially the US indices. Okay, let's talk about some of the fundamentals that affect it. If you go to Forex Factory, you have high impact news. You have high impact news, you have medium impact, you have low impact. You understand that it's always important that every day you trade, you look out for the high impact data, because that could actually be a trading opportunity for you, or it could also influence your trading position. Could also influence your your trading position. Okay, so let's talk about that. We have a couple of fundamentals, all fundamentals from the US zone. By today, by 1:30, there's going to be a fundamental in the US zone. It's likely going to affect the US indices. Okay, so fundamentals from the US zone, the US monetary policy, unemployment updates, US CPI, and GDP updates. Okay, we have taken time to actually explain this. I also want to state this here now, for those of us who are here, that we know that these sessions that we hold, they are also streamed live on YouTube. Okay, they are streamed live on YouTube, so you can head over to our YouTube channel. All the sessions we've held in the past, especially most recently, they are on our YouTube channel. Okay, so you can head over to our YouTube channel. I will not really spend time talking about these fundamentals one by one, because we've talked about it over we've talked about it in the past. So if you want to understand very clearly how these data one by one affect the index market, you can head over to YouTube. You can look out for our content there. We have one last indices market mastery class. We talked about that. Okay, so that said, let's move on, because I want to take time to explain. We have a couple of data coming out in the next 15 minutes or thereabout, and that could actually give us an opportunity to trade in the market. So let's do that. Let me share my chart with us. Okay, so I want to believe that we can see my chart right now. This is what we have. Good. So let us look at the dollar index. We expect a series of data to come out in the next 15 minutes. So we might as well want to consider what the dollar index is doing right about now. Okay. As it stands right now, the dollar index is selling, but this is 15 minutes. Let's look at it on the daily time frame. Give ourselves a clearer chart. Okay. Okay, good. So this is what we have on the daily time frame. The dollar has sold and has hit a turncoat support. Okay, a turncoat support. But you understand, you will notice that there's been like what the dollar has done has been to return to a particular trend. The reason why I'm doing this is because yes, there's a fundamental coming out very soon, but we want to actually understand what the behavior of the dollar has been. You understand? I want to see what the behavior of the dollar has been from the 6th of July. The dollar has been able to make, very good bullish movement, but of this particular resistance here, the dollar has given us 3 consecutive bearish candles. 3 consecutive bearish candles. And for people who understand what candlestick patterns are, one of the candlestick patterns that we can use to determine a reversal in the market, reversal pattern, one of it is the one we call the 3 black crows. Okay, 3 black crows and 3 white horses. The 3 black crows is where you have 3 consecutive bearish candles from a resistance point. 3 consecutive bearish candles from a resistance point. When you have that, you expect that price is going to what? Fall. So if we check the dollar index on the daily time frame, we've had 3 consecutive bearish candles. So technically, we actually expect that the dollar is about to begin a downtrend. Okay, so it's very possible that even the fundamentals that come out for the dollar today will still weaken the dollar. Is highly likely, because when you check the dollar index, you can see that yes, it actually at a support, but it's giving us 3 consecutive bearish candles, and that means that price can likely continue falling. So that said, you would also notice on the 1 hour time frame that around this resistance point here, dollar has found it difficult to break above that point. Okay, it gave an inverted hammer here and then it sold, gave an inverted hammer, and right now it's actually selling. Okay, so what data are we expecting in the next 13 minutes? What data we're expecting, and what are my predictions? What do I expect to happen in the market? Let's go check Forex Factory out. So here we are, Forex Factory. Good. So you will see that, you will notice that by 1:30 we have core PCE price index, unemployment claims. Core PCE price index and unemployment claim. We expect, now you remember that when you're doing fundamental analysis, especially when you're analyzing on Forex Factory, you're using different so when you're doing your analysis on Forex Factory, you're concerned with the previous. Okay, you're concerned with the forecast, especially with the forecast and the actual. Okay, so what we really want to compare is what is the forecasted data and what is the actual data. So you will notice that for price index, core PCE price index, what we'll see is that we're expecting the same 0.2%. So we're not really expecting a change in the core PCE price index. You're not expecting a change, 0.2%, right? But if you check out unemployment claims, if you look at unemployment claims here, you will notice that what the previous data was 230,000. Now, when we talk about unemployment claims, what do we mean? The government of the United States provides benefits for unemployment. So there are unemployment benefits that people can claim if they are ready, willing to work, and there's no job available, they can claim it. So we always use that data. We use that data to actually find out how many persons are claiming the unemployment benefit. So it is released quick. It is released weekly. Every week, that data is released from the Department of Labor. Okay. So for last week, okay, we're trying to find out how many people made claim for unemployment benefit last week. Now, if there's an increase in the number of people that are requesting for unemployment benefit, it means that there is an increase in the level of unemployment in the US. And if there is an increase in the level of unemployment in the US, it means that it will likely be weak for the dollar. Okay, there likely be a weakness for the dollar. What does that mean? It means that if this data comes out, the next data that comes out, if it is higher than 236K, if it is higher than 236K, that is a negative for the dollar. Okay, if by the time the dollar, if by the time the data is released, the news that comes out for the dollar is negative. Okay, if that news that comes out for the dollar is negative, then it's possible that the dollar will become weak. What do we mean by negative? Remember that normally your thoughts that in Forex Factory, if the actual, that's the one that comes up here, if actual is greater than forecast, is good for the currency. What we mean by that is that if actual is better, that's what we mean. Okay, so in terms of unemployment, it will not really be good if the data that comes out here is higher than this. It means that more persons are unemployed. So if the data that comes out here is higher than this, even Forex Factory will paint it in red to show that this is poor for the dollar. And if that happens, we will see a if that happens, we'll see a continuous fall in the dollar, and we'll likely see a push up in GBP USD, Euro USD, and any, especially GBP USD, Euro USD. We'll see a push down in USD CAD, USD JPY, USD CHF when this data comes out. Although personally, I expect that we may not get as much response from this data on 130 until the 230 session begins. Okay, but this data, when this data comes out, it will help us determine where the market will go when the 230 session actually resumes. You understand? But what I'm trying to explain to us is that when unemployment claim comes out, what makes it good for the dollar is if the unemployment data is reduced. If there's a drop, that's good for the dollar. But there's an increase, not good for the dollar. Okay, that is my explanation when it comes to the data that is coming out in the next 8 minutes and how you can take advantage of that. Okay, so let's continue. We'll move on from there, and then we are going to go into the market, check the market, give the market a holistic view, look at all the index, the US index market one by one, Z30 included, maybe UK 100, and then that will take us into analysis for the live trading session. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Let me go back to sharing my chart with us. Please just a minute. So do not forget that we have said that unemployment claims is coming out very soon. And when it comes out, what is important is that you want to select a data that you want to compare the unemployment claims of past unemployment data with what we're expecting with what is coming out. Now, I have said that when it comes to unemployment, Okay, we analyze it a bit differently from other data. Okay, if there's an increase in unemployment, okay, if there is an increase in unemployment, then what that means is that there will likely be a weakness in the dollar. Okay, if the unemployment claim data comes out higher than expected, dollar will likely weaken. And if dollar weakens, within that short time, you should see a rise in Euro USD, you should see a rise in GBP USD, you should see just things like that. You understand? So that's the idea. That is what we mean by unemployment claims and how it affects the US session, or how it affects the dollar and dollar pairs. Okay, that's how it affects the dollar and dollar pairs. But that said, let's look into the market and check out the US index market. We've already done an analysis on the dollar index. For those of us who Yes. So for those of us who were not here, we looked at the dollar index and we discovered that on the daily time frame, the dollar index did something we call three black crows. That is this. This is the daily time frame. It did three black crows. This is today is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Right? So for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was bearish from that resistance. You understand? It was bearish. And that we said that is a bearish reversal pattern. That is a bearish reversal pattern. Okay, so that bearish reversal pattern shows that there is a high chance that the weakness of the dollar might likely continue. Okay, especially next month. The weakness of the dollar might likely continue, especially next month. Okay, because if you check it out on a monthly time frame, you would notice that there's been a range around here, but subsequently we've been having a downward spiral. This is the dollar index on the monthly time frame. Even on the weekly time frame for the dollar index, on the weekly time frame, price has made like a double top on the weekly time frame, and there's a high chance that price can continue back to weekly lows, or at least the lowest point that the dollar has been for this year was around May, and price might likely head back towards that point. Okay, good. So let's continue. I said I was going to share something very interesting about NFP that is coming out tomorrow. For those who do not know, NFP will be coming out tomorrow. We normally have NFP first Friday of every month. NFP stands for non-farm payroll. And what that does is that measures the change, okay, the change in the amount of employment. It measures the change in employment. Okay, that's why it is non-farm payroll. Payroll is referring to what? Employment, right? Good. Now, the reason why it is non-farm is because for NFP, we do not include the farming sector. When we check the number of people employed, when we want to check the number of people employed with NFP data, we do not use the farming sector. The reason why we don't use the farming sector, well, that's an economic term. Just understand that NFP is done without the farming sector. Okay, that's because most of the products that are produced in the farming sector, they are also used up in other stages of production. You understand? So if we apply the farming sector, it's possible that we are double counting. But that's by the way. What we are trying to say is that normally this NFP that's coming out tomorrow on the 1st of September, as much as you can, please, I want you to take advantage of it, because there's a high chance that data will likely weaken the dollar. Okay, of course, we cannot be 100% certain until when the data comes out, but we know that the US, if there's one thing they know how to do, they know how to design data to favor them, in the sense that they are very proactive when it comes to the strength of the dollar. And so there have been many instances where, people, it's been rumored and it's been alleged that it's very possible that we're not getting the exact data when it comes to the dollar. There's been rumors, there's been allegation that it's possible that, the US Fed massage their data to paint an unclear picture, or to give a wrong notion of the dollar, tell us the dollar is strong when it is actually not. Okay, and that is where this particular discussion comes in. So tomorrow's NFP is a strange one. Why? Because normally, when we have the first Friday of the month to be the first day of the month, when the first Friday of the month is the first day of the month, there's a high chance that the NFP will be pushed to the next Friday. If the first Friday of the month is that first day, there's a high chance that the NFP will be pushed. But this time around, we are going ahead with it. And if you check Forex Factory, you also notice that, let me take us back to Forex Factory. Okay, data came out. Let's see. Oh, so you can see what unemployment claims did there. It's possible that the dollar will push up for this data that came out. Expect the dollar to likely push up for this data that just came out now. Okay. This sale will likely retrace back to the upside for this data that came out. The reason is because you will notice that when this data came out, unemployment claims was reduced, and your Forex Factory has painted it as green. So there's going to be a very temporary strength in the dollar. Okay, very, very temporary. I don't expect it to last too long. Okay, very temporary strength. So it means that if you check, US 100 may likely fall. GBP USD may be selling right now. But it's very temporary. I don't advise you stay too long at all if you're trading to the strength of the dollar. If you're placing a trade down there, it should be to the strength of the dollar, but I don't advise you to stay too long. Okay, you're going to get better reaction to this move when the US session opens. Okay, so let me continue my explanation on Forex Factory. Now, I was saying that unemployment claims was painted green. And why? Because we're expecting 236, but it came out as 228,000, which is about 8,000 reduction. So it shows there's a fall. There's a fall in the amount of unemployed people, and that is good for the dollar. Okay, that's good for the dollar. That's good for the dollar. Okay, so that said, what did I talk about when I was talking of NFP tomorrow being a very strange data that I expect to actually give a very good move tomorrow? This is NFP for tomorrow. You will notice that for this particular day, we have CAD giving their GDP data. CAD is giving their GDP data at around the same time that the dollar is giving its NFP data. Normally, because first Friday is also the first day of the month, normally the US, they are normally supposed to push NFP to next week, but they're not doing that this week, which is one strange thing. Another thing is the fact that around this time, we are also having ISM manufacturing PMI. ISM manufacturing PMI. Okay, and this is so look at ISM is always released monthly on the first day of on the first business day after the month ends. That's why it's released tomorrow, because tomorrow is the first business day in the new month. Tomorrow will be the first business day in the new month of September. So what's happening? It means that something abnormal, something strange is going on. NFP is released, and around the same time, ISM is released. So NFP will come out by 1:30, and then ISM will come out by what? By 3 p.m. Okay, but if there's one thing I know about the market or know about trading, it is that chaos provides trading opportunity for traders. That's why one of the best times I love to trade is during FOMC. FOMC data, especially data that has to do with economic projection, it normally comes twice in a day. Like it comes 2 times. The first time it comes on a Wednesday. First data will be released by 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is when the inflation data will be released. Okay, when that is released by 7:30, there's usually a press conference. Now, if the first data comes and gives dollar strength, the second data can come out and give dollar what? Weakness. That happens a lot of time. That's why what people like to do is they wait for 7 p.m. They see the move and they trade the retracement on by 7:30. Okay, so I feel like that is likely what is going to happen. I feel like that's what's going to happen tomorrow. I feel like we're at the point where the time where when the data comes out, when data is released tomorrow, if NFP weakens the dollar, when ISM comes out, it likely gives strength to the dollar. If NFP comes out and it strengthens the dollar, when ISM comes out, it will likely give weakness to the dollar. That is what I expect that it will likely do. You understand? That's what I expect that it will likely do. Okay. So that said, that's for NFP. So if you check it, if you look at the data of NFP, we are expecting NFP to have dropped. We expect NFP, this is the previous. The previous was 187,000. That's the change in the number of employed people. Okay, so 187,000. But we are expecting a drop. We are expecting a drop to about 169,000. That's what we're expecting. So, but what does that mean? What does that mean? If we're expecting a drop to 169,000, what does that mean? It means that we expect that there is a reduction in the number of people that have been employed over time, because unemployment claim that came out today is a weekly data, but this data is a monthly data. So yes, it's possible that this week or last week there was increase in, or there was a reduction in the number of employment. Okay, it's very possible. But what NFP will show us is aggregately what has happened over a month. Okay, so when that data comes out, it's going to let us know what's the change. Oh. Some people say they can't see my screen. I can. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. So I'm saying that at this point in time, when this data comes out, okay, remember that during the time of NFP, so that strong data is coming out, unemployment rates will be coming out, average hourly earnings will be coming out. Okay, so if we're expecting a fall in the number of employed people, do you notice that it actually correlates with these unemployment claims that came out today? You know, unemployment claims came out lower, you know, for last week, but we are expecting that on a monthly basis there's been a fall in the level of employment, and that could likely mean that the unemployment rate could also drop. So that is why if you don't have plans to trade tomorrow, you need to set a plan, because the market is going to give us a real opportunity. Whatever move the market does by 1:30 is very possible that we have the opposite by 3 p.m. So that's an opportunity for you to take advantage of either the 1:30 or the 3 p.m. data. Okay, so that is it. You can see that for as we looked into it, the dollar actually gained strength. For anybody who was, you know, fast enough to maybe do a sell on US 100, you should have made a bit of profit, you know, because that unemployment claim that came out actually gave strength to the dollar. Okay, gave strength to the dollar. Even GBP USD actually sold a bit. It's currently bearish. It sold a bit because of that data that came out. That unemployment claim data that came out gave GBP USD some level of weakness because of the strength of the dollar from that data. Even gold, what about gold? What did gold do? You can see gold sold very well. Gold is currently selling. So I said to take advantage of the strength of the dollar, and for those persons who were able to do it, congratulations. Okay, but like I said, don't stay too long. Okay, don't stay too long. So if you had not entered any position, I advise you to just follow us. Let's continue, because of course we're going to be entering into the market once the 2:30 session opens, right? Good. So let's continue. Now, we want to do our analysis on each of the indices. I'm going to start with DE30. Let me share my screen with us. I'm going to start with DE30. Okay, here we go. Good. So this is DE30, all this 15 minutes time frame. Let's begin with the daily time frame. This is DE30 on the daily time frame. Okay, now on the daily time frame, you can tell that DE30 seems to be returning that bullish move. You understand? Here, DE30 seems to be returning that bullish move after it sold for a while. It's currently retracing and it's been buying. It's been buying, right? That's why if you look at DE30, you find out that after from this verified support here with this hammer and these 3 white horses, we call this one 3 white horses. Remember, we talked about 3 black crows. 3 black crows is 3 bearish candles from a resistance, but 3 white horses is 3 bullish candles from a support. Okay, now from here, price has been able to push up, and price is currently at a strong resistance. How can I tell price at a resistance? The reason I can tell price at a resistance is because you can notice that around this place, let me zoom in a bit so that we can see it. So around here, price got to a resistance. Okay, we check the number of times that price was around this place. When price was here, price was rejected. When price was here, price was rejected. When price was here around this zone, it was rejected. Okay, so price has approached a strong resistance right now. It's approached a strong resistance. But what do we expect? What do you expect in the market if you're trading DE30? You would notice on my 1 hour time frame that we have a very clear uptrend in this market. Okay, we have a very clear uptrend in this market. You will notice it even with my trend line. You can see it that we have a very clear uptrend here in this market. Okay, so DE30 is already applying an uptrend, and what that means is that if DE30 is applying an uptrend, yes, it's at a strong resistance point. Okay, there's a strong resistance, so and there is a high chance that we can get a retracement. But my advice for swing traders, remember that okay, let me continue. Now, remember that I was saying that if I always say this to people, that if you can tell the trend of the market, if the market is an uptrend, the best thing you want to do in that market is to be entering your buys around support zones. Take your buy around support zones. That's my advice. Okay, that's my advice for somebody who is trading an uptrend. And so it's very possible that we get a retracement in this market, a bearish move in this market, but I want you to understand that whatever bearish move you are having in this market, the best place you want to or the best place for you to take your buy on DE30 should be around 15,920. From around 15,920 to this untested support, anything that makes price to come back towards 15,920 to this untested support, I advise you to take a buy from that place. I advise a buy from that place. Okay, so we might be seeing a retracement right now on DE30, seeing a retracement. If you're taking advantage of the market right now on DE30, you can actually scalp a sell in the market. Okay, you can actually scalp a sell in the market, but understand that DE30 is now on an uptrend. So yes, you can scalp a sell right now in the market, make profit scalping a sell right now on DE30. Okay, but if DE30 sells to, or when DE30 sells to 15,009, let me check it on 1 hour again. D30 sells to around 15,930 or 15,920. Around that place, you want to be looking out for a push up, because D30 is on an uptrend. D30 is on an uptrend, and looking at what we expect that it will continue, what it will do going forward, especially when it breaks that resistance, I feel like it's going to continue on that uptrend, because it has broken whatever downtrend structure that we had here. Okay, so that's my advice for DE30. Of course, once the 230 session, once we are approaching the 230 sessions, we will look closely, maybe on 5 minutes or 15 minutes, and decide what to do. But right now, I see that retracement of 15 minutes, and I feel like we can actually take advantage of that, okay, of the bearish move going on in the market right now. You can take advantage of that. Can take advantage of scalping a sell on D30 right now. Scalp a sell, make profit, come back. You're not staying too long in it. But anything that makes D30 to retrace back towards 15,930, I feel like around that zone, you need to hang your boots on a sell. But right now, I advise scalping a sell on DE30 right now. Right now. Okay, so that's that for DE30. Let's check out remember, this is an index class, so I will likely continue with the index market. Let's look at US 100. Okay, of course, US 100 has traded bearish. We looked at it and we said when that data came out that it was good to take advantage of that particular sell in the market. But the truth is, US 100 is on an uptrend, just like we did with D30. For US 100, while it is the bullish move of US 100 is stronger than even others, because US 100 is comprised of tech stocks, and the tech world is at a high. Okay, the tech world is actually at a high right now. There is this thing we call these chip makers that actually they are called Nvidia. Nvidia is a software company, okay, and then they recently published their earnings and found out that they're doing very well, doing a lot much more than expected. Okay, and that has given a lot of strength to the stock market, so even the index market, especially because it is a tech stock. Okay, now when you check US 100 on the daily time frame, let's discuss the candlestick and what it actually tells us. From this support here, we can tell that price has made 3 consecutive bullish candles. 3 consecutive bullish candles, okay, which we would call a white horse. Okay, and then from that zone, price has actually traded bullish. So what you want to do when you're trading US 100 going forward, for swing traders, you want to wait for price to retrace towards its support. Wait for price to retrace towards its support, and then you can buy from there. Most especially something like your 50-period moving average. You will notice that the 50-period moving average has been a very good support for US 100. Okay, 50-period moving average has been a strong support. I'll still apply it again on my. So it has been a strong support for US 100. So I feel like I would expect US 100 to retrace back towards the 50-period moving average before I can continue to follow that trend back to the upside. Okay, so please listen to me. Listen to me. If US 100 retraces to the 50-period moving average, 2 things can happen. I can take advantage of that. If you retrace to the 50-period moving average and you have 2 consecutive bearish candles, If you have two consecutive bearish candles form below the 50-period moving average, two consecutive bearish candles, after once you get to the 50 period, one bearish candle closes below the moving average, and the next candle is also a bearish candle that closes below, then I would advise you to consider a further sell on US 100. But if by the time it gets to the 50-period moving average, instead of breaking below it, it now gives you two consecutive bullish candles above the moving average. If it does that, then at that point in time, you're expecting that that trend is about to continue back to the upside. Okay, so my advice right now, of course, we are going to look at US 100 again during the US session. This is what I mean. Currently, this is 15 minutes. For those persons who joined us 2 weeks ago, we talked about the moving average strategy. I don't know if there are people who have been able to practice it, the moving average strategy, where we talked about once you have two consecutive bullish candles break above your moving average. Okay, once you have two consecutive, somebody is asking what 50-period moving average is. If you don't know what a moving average is, it's very possible that this class is not actually for you. You understand? You can reach out to your account, but I will just go ahead and apply a moving average to my chart. Okay, just so when you want to add a moving average, which is an indicator, okay, it's a mathematical tool, and it helps us to tell the trend of the market. It helps us to tell what changes are coming, whether they are increased changes or decreased changes. Okay, but let's continue. If I want to apply my moving average, I come to indicators list at the top here. Indicators list. I select indicators list and I can go to trend. Under trend, I can select moving average, and that's where these tables come up. The first question I'm asked there is what period? What period? And the period I have there is 50, which is what I'll actually use. I'll use 50. Now, what does period mean? Moving average is calculating the average movement of price, but what period does is when you select the number of periods you want, you're just telling the moving average to calculate it for that number of candles. So a 10-period moving average is looking at the average of 10 candles. Okay, that's what it's doing. Well, a 20-period moving average is looking at the average of 20 candles. So 50-period moving average is looking at the behavior of the past 50 candles. Okay, now on 15 minutes here, we have something interesting. Price is currently on our 50-period moving average. So there are two things to do. The first thing is, of course, we're waiting. We want to see if price will break below this 50-period moving average. And it has to break below, price has to form two consecutive bearish candles. Price has to form two consecutive bearish candles below the moving average to expect it that it will continue selling. Okay, to expect that it will continue selling. While if it's, for instance, if this candle closes below this place bearish, and then next candle closes below, that's two consecutive bearish candles, I can now sell to the nearest support. But if instead of closing below this place, it now closes bullish and gives me two bullish candles, okay, gives me two bullish candles above my 50-period moving average. Okay, what it will do for me there is that if it gives me two bullish candles above my 50-period moving average, at that point in time, I will look out for a buy. I'll look out for a buy, and my take profit will be before the closest resistance. Okay, so that's what we expect for US 100. I have said that going forward, we expect that US 100 will be able to pick up the pace. Okay, it's on an uptrend, but the best way to trade an uptrend, especially if you did not enter early on the trend, the best way to trade the uptrend is not to just start shouting and saying, I've missed. The best thing to do is to be patient, wait for price to retrace towards the closest support, and you can take a buy from there once price is returning back to the trend. You understand? That's how I would explain US 100. For people trading US 100, that's just how I'm going to explain US 100 today. Okay? Now, let's move out from US 100. Let's check out another index. Let's look at US 30. I think I've passed it. Yes, I have. Okay, I've seen it. Okay, so we have US 30. Good. Now, for US 30, you will notice that Dow Jones, another name for US 30 is Dow Jones. Dow Jones has actually hit a resistance. This is Dow Jones on 1 hour. You can see that all the index markets are kind of performing and behaving similarly. All the US indices, they are behaving similarly, okay, because they are all majorly exchanged against the dollar. So they are reacting to the dollar similarly. Okay, so if you notice US 30, you find that US 30 also has been able to push up, but US 30 has approached a resistance. Look at it here. This place where US 30 is the place where price was rejected here. So it was once a support. It was a support here, but now it's a resistance here. You understand? So what that means is that currently, if you check on 1 hour, US 30 is on a resistance, and it's a strong resistance. The last time price was at this resistance, when price got here, price was at this resistance, price was able to fall all the way to this zone here, to this verified support here. Okay, and somehow it has made its way back. But right now we have it at a resistance. Okay, so remember that we have always said that when price, and for those people who do not know what candlestick pattern means or how important it is, if you check the current candle now on 1 hour, this current candle like this, okay, it's looking like a doji, it's looking like a gravestone doji. Okay, but the truth is that when you see a candle with this kind of shape, whereby the longer body is the upper body is longer than what I mean is the upper wick, like this place now, the upper wick. If it is longer than the body and the lower wick, that's an inverted hammer. Okay, so when you see something like this at a resistance, it gives you an information that price is likely there's a very high chance that price is about to fall from that resistance. For those of us who do not know about candlestick pattern, sometimes you can see a hammer on a support. When you see a hammer on a support at that point in time, you expect that support will actually reject price and price will head back, upwards. Okay, price will head back upwards. So an inverted hammer at a resistance like we have just seen is telling us that US 30 will likely fall. Okay, US 30 may likely fall. Now, when you see a hammer on a resistance, it means that on a support. When you see a hammer on a support, it means that price is likely to break back to the upside. Price is likely to break back to the upside. Okay, so that is what I expect for US 30. Of course, we're going to go back to US 30 towards close to the US session time to actually look into it. Okay, good. Now we move on from US 30. Let's look at US 2000. Okay. Yes. US 2000. Okay, so this is US 2000. You see, I already have my line on it. I have my trend line on it. And my trend line, you know, at the time that I drew this trend line, it was to ascertain what the trend of the US 2000 market is. And you can see how, yes, it does. And you can see how price, you know, has been making a steady higher high. Price has been making a steady higher high. If you put it on 1 hour itself, you will see. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we have. This is 1 hour. I've brought it back from 4 hours to 1 hour. Okay. Good. Now this is what we have on US30 on. No, let's use daily time frame. Let's use daily time frame. Okay, good. So US30 also did his D3 bullish candle, but it's currently at a resistance, just like US100 and just like D30. You understand? They are all at resistance. But if D30 is on a resistor or US100, okay, this is US 2000, if it's on a resistor on the daily time frame, it means that it's very possible for us to look at it on 1 hour and easily determine what it will likely do, because on 1 hour we can easily get a rejection pattern that even helps us to enter, you know, early enough to take profits. Okay, so if you're trading US 2000, please note that US 2000 is already at a resistance, and so because it's at a resistance, we expect some level of retracement before, if at all, it pushes back up. Before it pushes back up, we expect some level of retracement. So if you're trading US 2000 right now on that resistance where it is, except the 230 session comes and pushes it up, you know, I expect that it will likely further fall. Okay, I expect it to fall once if you're trading US 2000. Of course, we are going to now go through the market and, you know, decide where to enter, where to come out, and all that, all the good stuff. Okay, we're going to decide that now, but let's check out oil. I think oil has been pushing up for a couple of hours now. You know, oil has been pushing up and it's not looking like, you know, it wants to slow down. Remember what I told us about? Okay, let's look at it on 1 hour. Okay, good. So this is oil on 1 hour. And if you look at oil here, you see that oil is approaching a verified resistance, even on 1 hour. Okay, oil is approaching a verified resistance on 1 hour. Personally, I don't see why not. I don't see why we cannot buy please just hold on, let me. Okay, good. Good. Now, I don't see why we cannot buy oil to this verified resistance. There's such strong bullish pressure in oil right now, a very strong one. It got to this 50-period moving average and it's been retracing from there, even on the daily time frame. Okay, so I don't see why we cannot buy oil up to this verified resistance. Okay, so for oil, I'll also consider a push up in the market. Okay, consider a push up in the market. So let's look out for, that was oil. Let's look at gold. Let's look at gold. Gold really sold, but has retraced all the sell it did. You know, gold now, it reacts a lot to fundamentals. Okay, just a matter of waiting for gold. You know, if I enter gold in time of a fundamental, you know, I just need to wait, you know, within that period to find out. But if you check out gold, you see that gold has created a kind of no, not this. Okay. So we have this. Good. So you can see from here that gold has been ranging. Gold has been in a tight box for some time now. It's been in this tight box for some time. So what gold will do depends on what it does around this tight box. Okay. So that means that, remember, as I've said before, when gold is in a place like this, especially when it's not like a very strong resistance, I can use a pending order. But when I see a resistance like this for gold, I always want I always want the gold to break that instrument before I trade. I want gold to break it. That means that I want gold to the body of the candlestick to form above that resistance point. Okay. Let it form above that resistance point or form below the support point to really let us know that price has broken that resistance or that support. Okay, so that is how I see trading gold today. I feel like gold is going to have a breakout. Gold is going to have a breakout, but it all depends on how the 230 session goes. We know that the data that came out by 130 was good for the dollar, right? It was good for the dollar. And the index market, they are already at points of retracement. They are at strong resistances. They are all at strong resistances. And we have a data that just came out that's not good for that was very good for the dollar. So it's possible that during the 230 session, we're going to get a strength in the dollar. We're likely going to get a strength in the dollar. And that means that we're likely going to see a fall on US 100, a fall on US 30, a fall on US 2000, a fall on DE 30, you know. Might likely get a fall on FR 40. All that, we're going to have a fall. Okay, and when that happens, then it's possible for retracement to happen. But what we want to do is to be able to take advantage of that quick move that will likely happen in the market, right? Good. So let's move on from gold. Let's check out some currencies. Let's look at GBP USD, for instance. Remember, you should not be surprised if you see GBP USD selling like this. It is because of the strength of the dollar. Okay, so that's why it's important that when you are trading, you arm yourself with technical and fundamental. It was based on that fundamental that I saw that I said you people should actually, that we expect dollar to be strong because of that fundamental we're expecting. Normally, if I did not know, I would likely maybe be buying GBP USD. But the best thing to do right now is to actually sell GBP USD. Okay, but the US session is coming up, and the US session is coming up. We never know. We are expecting that the US session will give the dollar strength, so GBP USD might likely still fall further. Okay, so that's what we will do. But like, let's look at GBP USD on 4 hours. Let's see how well it can actually sell. Well, right now, what it is doing is it's on a support zone. Okay, so in support zone. So if somehow GBP USD can break below 1.26588, if it breaks below 1.26588, then you can expect it to still sell a bit more. I said expect it to sell a bit more if it can break below 1.26558 for GBP USD. Okay, good. So let's look at Euro USD. Euro USD is also doing the same thing. Euro USD is right now at a support zone on 15 minutes, but let's check it out. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have our support and resistance, right? We have a clearer chart right now. So what we are going to do, what you notice is that Euro USD is currently at a resistance, not a strong resistance, but is currently at sorry, support. It's calling that a support. 15 minutes calling it a verified support, but it's a support, it's a support. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It means we have to monitor Euro USD. If Euro USD, the body of Euro USD closes below this verified support, if the body of Euro USD closes below this verified support, you can continue selling. But if it doesn't, okay, if it doesn't, you if you cannot break this particular support, let it trade above for Euro USD, let it trade above oh, sorry about that. Let it trade above 1.0 1.08890. 1.08890. If it trades above that place, you can now buy to this untested resistance and come out at 1.09. Let me be sure. So we are coming in around this place, 1.088. Then we are coming out around this place, 1.09154. 1.09154. That's that for Euro USD. Please give me a minute. Just a minute. Just stay on the line. Give me a minute. I hope you can hear me now. Okay, did it just come, or were there people that were hearing me before? Oh, really? That's crazy. Okay. So thank God I've not gone too far. I first said I congratulated people who scalped on DE30. Remember, I said to scalp on DE30 sale. So if you did that, congratulations. That's what I said. Okay. So now back to US 100. And we're saying that I personally still expect a sell on US 100. But you will notice that the problem US 100 has had today is with this particular zone here. And that is why on 15 minutes, that zone is seen as a verified resistance, a verified support. So my advice for the 230 session is once US 100 trades below 15,004, I have it here at 15,440, or let's just say 15,440. If US 100 trades below 15,440, I would expect that you actually sell on US 100. You will see, remember the strategy I taught us 2 weeks back. I told us that if you have 2 consecutive bearish candles below your moving average, 2 consecutive bearish candles below your 50 period moving average, you expect a sell to the nearest support. So if the next candle closes bearish also, the next 15 minutes candle, if it closes bearish, it means that price is likely going to sell, but there is a support here. So for US 100, please listen attentively. You want to look out for selling from US 100 from 15,447 or 15,440. Okay, 15,440, that's where you want to sell from. And I expect that if that sell happens like that, I expect price to fall till the 50 period moving average, which we have around here. And if we check that on 15 minutes, I expect that sell to continue from that 15,440. I expect that sell to continue to around 15,410. Okay, so from 15,440, I expect it to continue till around 15,410. That's my advice for trading US 100. My preference for US 100 right now is actually a sell. Okay, so you can do that now, or you can wait for the 230 session to trade once it goes below 15,440. Okay, you can scalp a sell now, or you can wait, trade below 15,440 and come out at around 15,410. Okay, some persons, I take it that there is, because I've not had anybody that said, oh, I scalped the sell on D30 and I made profit. I've not had anybody that said, oh, for the unemployment claim, this is what I traded. But if I did not do the analysis during that 130, everybody will be saying, please, there's high impact news by this time, there's high impact news. Okay, that's why I always maintain that what is more important is the analysis than even the entry point. Is the analysis, so that you know why I am saying buy or why I'm saying sell, so that you can do it. You understand? Hey, that's what it's all about. Oh, thank you, Mr. Lawansin, for yes, this testimony is for me. Thank God you scalped. Okay, so alternatively, you will notice that US 100 itself has provided a kind of range around here. And so if US 100 trades at 15, remember I said our sell is at 15,440. 15,440 to around 15,410. Now I'm also saying that we could look out for a buy on US 100, because of course it's on an uptrend. Look out for a buy on US 100 if it begins to trade above 15,550. 15,550. If it trades above 15,550, we can look out for a buy to around 15,590. Okay, so we can sell from 15,440 to 15,410, or we can buy from 15,550 to 15,590. But I personally expect, I'm still saying it, I expect a sell on US 100. Okay, I expect a sell on US 100. That's why I've given us an entry below the verified support. I said you can scalp a sell on US 100 right now, or if you're not that kind of risk averse person, you can wait for 15,440 to sell. But anybody who scalps US 100 right now would have made profit even before then. Okay, just like anybody who has scalped on D30 is already out. Okay, so that's why my advice on US 100 is scalping is sell. Okay, that's my own advice on US 100. Wonderful. Thank thank you for the testimonies. So yeah, scalp sell on US 100. That's my advice. Okay, then for GBP USD, we said that GBP USD was it okay? That was Euro USD we're talking about. We gave a mark on GBP USD. Okay, we gave a mark on GBP USD. Let's look at it properly. Let's see where we have what we have here. It's very possible that the dollar index will continue her strength if it can break above this weak resistance. That's if. Okay, so for GBP USD, let's look at it on 15 minutes and decide what we are likely going to do. So this is GBP USD. We have a fall to this place, price pushed up, came down. So we have like a double bottom around here, and that is why for GBP USD, I will go above somewhere like here for GBP USD. Let's see if we have up to 10 pips for that. Yeah, we do. So for GBP USD, I will want to consider, say, a push up in the market. I will want to buy at around 1.26970. I'll buy at around 1.26970. Do about this is about 20 pips. So I can do about 20 pips profit. Okay. If I enter at 1.26970, I can come out at around 1.27121. Okay. But if the dollar strength is if it's something that continues during the US session, GBP USD might likely still fall further. And if it falls further, I want to take myself from 1.26550. I want to take myself from 1.26550 and just look out for 20 pips or thereabout. Okay, 20 pips or thereabout. That's what I will do. Okay, that's what I will do. Let's go to US 30, or let's look at gold. For gold, we already marked a particular zone that we expect to actually trade on if once this thing happens. So this is what I am expecting for gold. This is what I'm expecting for gold. Good. So we are going to trade gold. We are either going to trade a sell on gold from 1940. If the strength of the dollar continues, we will scalp a sell on gold. We will sell gold from 1940 to around 1938.60. Okay. We will sell gold from 1940 to around 1938. That's what we will do. My advice will be to sell gold from, if price comes to 1940, sell from 1940 to 1938. But if price buys to 1948, if price buys to 1948, we can buy it from 1948 to around 1951. 1948 to 1951. Okay, we'll sell gold from 1940 to 1938, and we can buy gold from 1948 to 1951. Okay, or let's even say let me adjust the buy entry. Let me take it a bit, yes, just so that we're following what we already have. So I can buy gold from 1950. Buy gold from 1950 to 1952. Yes, from 1950 to 1952. Okay, that's gold. Let's look at US 30. US 30, on the 1 hour time frame, you can already see the inverted hammer. So it's possible that this sell continues on US 30. It's possible this sell continues on US 30. For those who do not know, when you see an inverted hammer on a resistance, there's a high chance that price is likely going to fall. Okay, there's a high chance that the price is likely going to fall. So I'm actually expecting a sell on US 30, at least. Let's see where we're going to sell US 30 from. We'll sell US 30 from 35,060 to around 35,030. Or we sell it from 35,060 to around 35,030. Okay, that will be my sell on US30. If it continues, especially if we have 2 consecutive bearish candle close below the 50-period moving average, we can continue scalping a buy. Okay, continue scalping a buy. Continue scalping a sell. If it does that, we can continue scalping a sell. But for my buy, if anything makes US30 to trade above this inverted hammer, anything that makes US30 to trade above this inverted hammer at 35,180, I will buy. I will buy from 35,180. I'll probably buy to around 35,200. I'll buy from 35,180 to around 35,200 or 35,230. Okay, but with the candlestick pattern, it looks more like there's going to be a retracement in the market. Okay, so we've looked at gold, I think we checked Euro USD. I said that Euro USD has to break below this verified support that it is on before we sell. So let Euro USD close below this verified support before you sell. But if Euro USD trades to 1.088, 90 around there, we can buy, at least look out for 15 pips, take profit on US30. Okay, let's look at US2000. US2000 also has given an inverted hammer on 1 hour. So this is what I will advise for US2000. Let's check it out on 15 minutes. So we can see its own verified support here. You can see its verified support here. So my advice for US2000 is, I'm not going to give you a pending order, but I will say monitor price for US2000. If price closes below 1903, if price closes below 1903, you can continue scalping your sell. Okay, if price closes below 1903, you can continue scalping your sell. But if price now goes back up and closes above 1915, if it closes above 1915, you can start scalping a buy. If it closes above 1915, my advice would be for you to scalp a buy. Okay, that would be my advice. So I think we can actually work with these entries that we already have. Okay, I did not do analysis for DE30. We only scalp, well, we've scalped on DE30, so I do not want us to spend too much time on that. For those people who scalping on US 100, sell on US 100, you will be on little profits now. But the main I've said that you can scalp on US 100. Those who scalping on US 100 are already in profit. But for those who want to wait, you're waiting for 15,440. Okay, to sell to 15,410. You can also wait for price to break for 15,550 to buy to 15,590. Okay. So while we wait for the US session to begin, we will. Okay. Yes. So I want to remind us, for those of us that are here, especially those that were not here at the beginning, we hold these classes, please, Monday to Friday. Generally, we hold these classes by 2 p.m. We hold these classes Monday to Friday by 2 p.m. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we hold them by 1 p.m. Okay. We hold them by 1 p.m. That 1 p.m. is so that we can have, on Tuesdays, we normally have the agro commodity expose, and then on Thursday like this, we have the indices market mastery. Okay, we have all that. Then yes, that's basically what we have. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like that. But please, I said something about NFP tomorrow. Please, if you don't have, I don't know, because I'm a trader and because I trade, it is nothing for me to tell people to fund their trading account. Find a way to make sure you have funds in your trading account to take advantage of tomorrow's afternoon session. Because tomorrow's afternoon session will come after NFP by 1:30. So NFPs by 1:30, we'll begin that class. We'll try that tomorrow's class. We'll likely begin it earlier, but by that 2 o'clock, we will now take advantage of the US session reaction to that market. We have said that tomorrow is possibly going to be, from what I know, is possibly going to be one of the biggest moves in the market that NFP has given us this year, because for a while NFP has not been giving us some good moves. for a while NFP has not given us support. So it may likely be one of the biggest moves that we will get this year. Okay, so because tomorrow is the first Friday. We're not supposed to have NFP tomorrow, but we're having it tomorrow because it's the first day of the month. But apart from that, we're also having ISM PMI, and PMI data usually moves very well. So we have two giant fundamentals that might likely, move the market very well. So please, some of us say we're not fundamental trader, we're technical trader, but the truth is that when it comes to people who make a lot within a short period of time, fundamental really helps, you understand? So make sure that you're prepared to join tomorrow's class. Make sure you're prepared to join tomorrow's class, because I personally expect that whatever NFP will do by 1:30, ISM services PMI might likely do the reverse by 3 o'clock. So there will be an opportunity. It's possible to make profit from both of them. It's possible to make from one. But you say if you miss the first one, you can make from the second one. You understand? So anytime there is high impact news like that, between, those are some of the some of the things we actually expect. Okay, so we have the 2:30 session about to hit, and we will see what the market has in store for us. Okay, so it's 2:30. Okay, let's see. Remember, we have our entry points already. 15,550 for a buy on US 100 and 15,440 for a sell on US 100. Okay, for GBP USD, okay, we still have very low movement yet. Okay, have low movement yet. Okay, US 30 is seemingly trying to make its bearish run. Remember that we said for US 30, we'll be looking at 35,060. It's very close there to 35,030, right? So US 30 is looking that way. Then US 100. Okay, US 100, this my trend line here is what is supporting it. So for US 100, 1903 is where we should be looking out from scalping our sell or taking our sell stop or taking our sell entry. While 1915 is where I would expect us to start looking for taking our buy entry. You understand? Good. So okay, US 100 is pushing up. That means that the dollar index, let's see what dollar index is doing on the 5 minutes. Dollar index on the 5 minutes, nothing yet, but it's giving a bearish, a bearish feel. The dollar wants to resume its weakness. The dollar resume its weakness, that means that indices will likely resume their strength for the US session. Okay, but we need to hold on to those our entries. 15,050, 15,550 for a US 100 buy. Did we do oil? We didn't do oil. Let's look at oil now. Let's look at oil also. Let's look at oil. So what do we have for oil? For oil, what I would advise us to do, we have like a hanging man here that signifies a bearish move. So for oil, if you're taking a buy on oil, look out for a buy on oil at 86.24. Look out for a buy on oil at 86.24, take profit at 86.46. And then for a sell on oil, we have a very strong bearish candle right now on oil. But I would advise that we take our sell on oil. Let's see where that is. I just want to give us on a smaller time frame so that we do not. Oil is really pushing down. So my advice on oil is to take a sell on oil. Can take a sell on oil, come out with your take profit at around 85.70. 85.70 for oil. You can take a sell on oil, come out with your profit at 85.70. Okay? That's my advice. Gold is yet to do anything yet. You can see that gold is still around this zone, but please watch out for 1940, where we expect to take a sell on gold. 1940 to take profit at around 1938. Okay, and we said for the buy around 1950 to take profit at around 1952. That's what we said for gold. For Euro USD, let it either break, or if it trades at 1.088. Yeah, if it trades at 1.08875, then you can buy and consider about 15 pips or thereabouts. Okay. US 30 has already gotten to take. US 30 has hit profit. US 30 has hit profit already. So congratulations. You took it. US 30 has hit profit. Let's see US 2000. Okay, not yet for US 2000, but remember that for US 2000, we have it at 1903 for sell. You want to scalp a sell, you want to take a sell stop, you want it from 1903 or from 1915. 1903 or 1915. Okay, so I want us to be vigilant. US 100 is actually giving us that bullish move. US 100 is giving us that bullish move. So what we'll be looking at is buying from 1550, 15550, right? Don't forget that, okay? It's actually briefly touched that zone, but once it starts trading above that, we can take a buy on US 100. US 100 is going to continue bullish, guys. US 100 is going to continue bullish. So let's not dull on that, eh? US 100 is going to continue bullish. Let's not dull on that, okay? So do not forget, we'll be meeting by 8 a.m. tomorrow. Please, if you cannot, if there's anything you remember about what we have said today, is that NFP will give us a very massive move tomorrow. NFP will give us a very massive move tomorrow. So please, let's make sure that we take advantage. 8 o'clock tomorrow and 2 o'clock tomorrow, this same link will take us to the class. This same link will be having the 8 o'clock class and the 2 o'clock class for NFP data. I don't think there's any. I already talked about US 30. Person asking about US 30. I already talked about US 30. US 30 has hit the sell take profit. So maybe what you want to consider is maybe the buy take profit. Okay. Then I think there's also high impact news on card, but it is not their own employment data. Normally they will also release their employment data, but the news on card is their GDP. You understand? So tomorrow is going to be very active. Please make sure you are there. Okay, make sure you are there. Some of us will have school fees concerns for this. Tomorrow could be where will be the opportunity, as well as today also. Make sure you monitor your trades today. Okay. Well, for the person who's asking how much you want to fund for NFP, I think that is totally up to you. I believe you can reach out to your account officers for they know how it is. They also know what your risk level is like. Personally, I would always say if you are trading fundamental, you're not staying too long in the market. So you want to use the best lot size available that you can use because you're not staying too long. So you want to make as much as possible. You understand? Hey, so that's up to you. That fund is up to you. Personally, I would say trading NFP should be nothing less than $1,000. So we're talking at least, well, interest rate is a problem right now, but you can look at putting at least 500,000 in your account upwards to be able to trade, even if it's 0.2 or 0.3, make as much as possible. Okay. Well, I feel that this is where we can call it a day for the live trading session. I have told us that by God's grace was from next week, which is beginning of September. Tomorrow is a new month. From next week, we are going to be having a lot of activity on we're going to be having a lot of activity on our Telegram channel. So please, if you are not on our Telegram channel yet, please reach out to your account officers. They will provide the Telegram channel. I think I can even provide that right now. I'm going to drop the Telegram channel link. Telegram channel link. I'm going to drop it for us right now. Please make sure you join our Telegram channel, because what we will be doing is that we will be posting trades and market analysis and information on the channel a lot. Okay, so if you are there, you'll be able to get access to our classes even beyond what your account officers will inform you. Because I have situations where people say my account officer did not tell me, you have a chance to join that group and get those information. That is where we'll be putting information, where we'll be having trainings, where we'll be having classes and even signals. We'll be putting signals also on that channel. Okay, so I'm going to drop it right now on the chat. So there you have it. Join our Telegram channel and we will be we'll be starting actively next week by God's grace. Okay. Thank you all for your time. Join us same time tomorrow, not same time, join us 8 o'clock tomorrow for the morning market review. But for now, it's bye from me. Take care.